Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Canon Sports Show. So, something big just happened. I don't even know what time it was, but I, I finished writing that, I wanted to write down some points about the podcast I was going to do today, where I was going to talk about the Suns' new free agents and, who they got. And I finished it. I was pretty happy with how it looked, and I was very excited to make the podcast. But I decided, I'm gonna go eat something quickly, come back, then we'll do the podcast. So I go to YouTube to look for a video to watch while I'm eating, and I see a podcast for another Suns podcast channel where they are talking about how Eric Gordon just signed with the Phoenix Suns. Eric Gordon just signed with the Phoenix Suns, so he just fucked up my entire thing. So I had to I don't even have anything different written. I'm just gonna improvise it because I want to get this done now. This is huge for the Suns to get Eric Gordon. The Suns have been phenomenal so far in free agency. Anyway, let's get into it. So the Suns going into free agency had fucking no money to spend. If we're gonna be 100% honest with each other, they had no money. They could only give people minimum contracts because of their big four costing absolute fuck ton of money, and then on top of that, pay and win, right? So it was gonna be really, really tough for them to come in here and to make something happen. And they did it. They went off. They needed to get height, length, youth, some more energy, rebounding, and shooting. They have accomplished all those goals. And I will say, I have currently 6 of the Suns free agents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Technically, they did sign Josh Kogi, who would be our 7th free agent. I'm not going to talk about Josh, just because I believe this game speaks for itself. He was great for the Suns last year. Defends well. He started shooting the ball really well. I don't think there's much to talk about with Josh. He's going to be huge. He might start for us. If not, he's going to be a key piece coming off our bench. I just want to put that right there. I realized that I didn't have him there, and I do want to mention him at least because I'm very excited that we signed him. But again, he played with the Suns a lot last year. A lot of the Suns fans got to see what he does, so I just didn't want to necessarily take up time talking about him. So I would look at a lot of different highlight videos of all these players here. Unfortunately, that'd be like half an hour of watching videos on this podcast, and I'm not doing that. So, anyway, we're going to start here. Keita Bates-Diop. He's a 6'8" forward. He's got a wingspan 7 feet 3 inches. He's a really good player. He's able to drive the ball really well. He finishes well around the rim. He absorbs contact super well. From what I saw, he seemed solid on the defensive side. Could be better, especially because he's got a 7'3" wingspan, right? But again, we have one of the best defensive coaches in Frank Vogel, so he should be able to help him out on that end. From what I could see, solid rebounder. Could be better, but not bad. Not a bad passer, especially driving. He finds a lot of guys. And the biggest thing is he's super patient. He waits for the right moments, and he cuts to the rim. Does a lot of back cuts because of it. He just waits for those right moments, especially on the passing end. He waits for his guys to get open. I think he's going to be a very solid player for us. I don't know if he's going to necessarily be involved in the rotation too much, but injuries fucking happen. So having a guy like this would be big for our team. Alright. Oh, and then another big thing too. Shot 50.8% from the field last year. 3 ball, not bad. If he's open, I don't mind taking a shot. Decent defensive stats. Again, the biggest thing here is that he shoots really, really well from the field. And that's obviously what you want from us right now. We want to be efficient as possible coming off the bench. Chimezie Metu. This guy I'm very excited for. He's a solid player. He could be really good for us. I think, personally, where I have him right now, I think he's going to be our power forward coming off the bench. And, he's just a beast. Shot 58.9% from the field last year. He's 6'9", 7 foot wingspan. He can score really well at the rim. a lot of athleticism, really good size too, 225 pounds. He has a jump shot from the stuff I've seen, just not a very consistent one, which is okay. We don't need him to shoot. We got fucking Eric Gordon, Yuta Watanabe. God damn it. Okay, let me just say something quickly about Yuta Watanabe. For whatever fucking reason, my dumb ass thought that his name was Yuta Watanabe. And so I've been saying that, like, ever since I saw him as a player. His name is Yuta Watanabe, so if I fuck up and say that, just excuse me. I'm just a fucking dumbass. But anyway, he's got a Metu as a good jump shot, just not a very consistent one. It actually looks really nice, though. From what I've seen, it shows a lot of high-level defense capability. Like, he shows that he can block well, and with the right coach, he could become a defensive forward that we need. From what I can see, he's a very good player. I think he could be playing a good amount for us off the bench. And I think he's just going to be a lot of fun to watch. Again, like we talked about, 58.9% from the field. Again, doesn't shoot the three ball super well, but he hardly shot it in general. Again, rebounds well. Those stats are very diminished, I think. I mean, yeah, last year you only played for 10 minutes a game, so it's not super surprising. Anyway, Damien Lee. Now, Damien Lee is a good player, and a lot of people wonder why I brought him in instead of Kogi, considering that Damien did play for us last year. The only reason why is because I mentioned shooting, and Damien Lee brings that. I mean, he shot 44 from the field, which on paper it's like, ooh, that's not very good, but 44.5% from three, that's really good. So again, he's 6'5". He'd play I think a guard role for us off the bench. I don't know if he's gonna play a ton next year. He might be one of those just deep bench guys. But again, having a guy that can come out here and shoot super well, and he doesn't even fucking play that much, it just shows the depth that the Suns have created off of these minimum contracts. There is actually one highlight that needs to be mentioned here. Let me just go ahead and find it.
Booker again to Lee. Lee with the drive. Tough shot. Oh! Unbelievable!
That is the only highlight that we need here out of Damien Lee. That shot alone, if Damien Lee had made that shot and missed every single shot the rest of the season, I honestly wouldn't be mad. He beat the Mavericks for us. That's all that matters. With the right game plan around his shooting ability, he could be really good for us. Again, I don't know how much he's going to play for us next year. He needs to improve his defense, which again, Vogel will help with, but he could be one of the most lethal shooters once again to come off the bench. I'm excited to see Damien play again. I'm really happy. And he's got that championship experience too, which is unmatched. Alright, moving on. Drew Eubanks. I'm very excited about Eubanks as well. He's a 6'10 center, 6'11 wingspan, who will be our backup center next season. That's a fact. He finishes super well in the paint, high dunking ability. He shot 64.1% from the field last year. It's kind of absurd. He can rebound on both ends, defensively and offensively, which I love. He plays very well in the pick and roll, which is going to be huge, especially with just paying off the bench. That's going to be a good way for them to get involved. But then you think, okay, if Booker or Beal is out there, they're also going to be able to work with him. And similar to Metu, I don't know if I actually mentioned this with Metu, but alley-oop threat. They both will be alley-oop threats for us. And the thing I love the most is his interior defense. I think he could end up being one of the most important pieces for us this season. I mean, we look here. I mean, averaged 1.3 blocks a game last year, 5.4 rebounds, big 1.7 offensive rebounds a game, though. That's really solid. Didn't score a ton, which I'm not saying he will score a lot for us, but I think he's going to be what we need. A guy who can, if he gets the ball in the paint, he will dunk it, or he will lay it up, and he will make it 64.1% of the time. He doesn't shoot the three a lot, so he's going to be mainly a paint scorer. One of the biggest signings for us, Yuta Watanabe. The Suns, they signed Eubanks, Damien Lee, Chimezie Metu, Keanu Bates-Diop, and Josh Okogie, and everyone was like, this is great. We love these signings, like everyone on Twitter. But everyone was like, where is Yuta? We want Yuta. Yuta the shooter. And shortly after, he was announced that he was signing with the Suns. He is going to be huge for us. I personally think he might start next year. He's just so fucking good. He does not miss from three. I think he will be starting for us. But I understand that Josh Okogie brings in defense and potential shooting ability, so I would not be mad if he came off the bench either. He's going to be big for us regardless. He's going to get so many open looks if he plays with the starters. And again, even if he comes off the bench, he'll get to play with the starters. And he's going to be really good off the bench too, even without the starters. Like, he'll still get lots of good looks. He's got really good size too. He's 6'8", 6'10" wingspan. He can pass decent enough. Like, it says 0.8 assists, but he just pass a lot because he just fucking makes every shot. He shot 44.4% from three last year. And I don't know, like, you see him play defense too. Like, he's very active on the defensive end. With Vogel, I think that'll really improve there. If he can improve his defense and rebounding a bit, he easily could be our best signing this season. And now, for the newest Phoenix Suns member, as of recording this, I think no more than like half an hour ago, Eric Gordon. Holy shit. This man has been trying to become a Sun for fucking ages. If people don't remember, New Orleans matched an offer sheet that the Suns signed Gordon to, and so unfortunately he didn't go there. He goes to Houston, and there's fuck tons of trade rumors that he might try and go from Houston to Phoenix. He gets cut. The Clippers get him, not the Suns. And so now he is finally here. So the biggest thing we want to talk about here, he shoots solid. Like, well, I don't know. I don't know which ones to focus on. Because again, you think, well, with the Clippers, he's playing with more talent, which he's going to be doing with the Suns. So you think these are probably more accurate to what they'll be like with the Suns. But he shoots a solid, like, just above, we'll say, like 44% from the field last year. He shoots well from three, especially when you look at the Clippers stats. Like, fuck, dude. Doesn't, like, rebound super well. He can pass, just doesn't a ton. It's not what he's there for. Defensive stats are actually not horrible. They're a lot better than I thought they'd be. Points, though, like, he is going to be huge for us off the bench. He is going to get us a solid amount of points off the bench, which is what we need. This is what the Suns needed last year. Like, this is absolutely incredible signing for the Suns. He is going to be huge for this team. Defense, I'm not sure as much, but again, I don't really give a fuck if Vogel is going to be there and help him become a good defensive player. I think Eric Gordon is going to be perfect for this team. I think he's going to fit in right there. So, I also want to talk now about the Suns' potential roster next year. So, starters, I have Yuta Watanabe up here, starting small forward, but we'll talk about that later. Devin Booker, starting point guard. Bradley Beal, starting shooting guard. Yuta Watanabe, starting small forward. I will say Josh Okogie can easily go into that role. Hell, even Jordan Goodwin can go into that role if we really fucking need him to be. But regardless, it doesn't matter too much. Kevin Durant, starting power forward. Starting center, DeAndre Ayton. Off the bench, the only consistent guy I have right now is Campaign. We just need him. He's going to be a facilitator for us. He's going to be huge. Eric Gordon / Jordan Goodwin. I think Eric Gordon is easily going to get that shooting guard nod. I do think they could bring in Jordan Goodwin, however, for more of a defensive approach off the bench, if need be. Not saying they will a lot, but we'll see. Josh Okogie is going to be our starting could be our starting small forward. Or I think he'll come off the bench. And then the same with Yuta. Either he's going to be our starter or he's going to come off the bench at the small forward position. Damien could play there if we want just like a boost of shooting. Or injuries. So either way, Damien could definitely get there. I think that Chimezie Metu is going to be our starting power forward. Fucking stupid. He's going to be our power forward that comes off the bench a majority of the time. He's going to be a guy that can get passes for Campaign. He's going to drive super well. I'm very excited to see him play. And then Bates Diop will be a solid, third option at the power forward position that we could use. And again, injuries, I think he could be really good for us. Drew Eubanks, backup center for us. I think that's like the one position right now. And that's another thing too about having Bates Diop that could be good. If Eubanks gets injured, Metu could slide down to that backup center position, whereas Bates Diop can, and then he can move up to the power forward position. But I love Eubanks. I think he's gonna be great, especially with campaign. I think that this is a dirty team. I think they can be very good next season. I'm super excited to see how they play. Anyway, I think that's about all I wanted to talk about this podcast. The next podcast I do about the Suns will probably be after the summer league is over. I'll talk about probably Isaiah Todd and Tumami Kamara. Just any other standouts from the summer league. I might release some podcasts, potentially a Cardinals podcast. There's a big UFC event coming up next weekend, so I might do a podcast based off of that. I don't know. There might be more coming out soon. Not exactly sure. I'm going to have to think about some ideas. But anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys are excited as I am for the Suns team. Anyway, have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you guys on the next podcast.